What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Wednesday. It is the day before Thanksgiving. To let everybody know, by the way, that what we're doing here, because we're not going to do the Spider-Man rewatch on Friday. We're going to let you get all fat on turkey and watch the last the Into the Spider-Verse with myself, Coy, and Winston tomorrow. So after you're done stuffing your face, or before you're doing it, go and check it out. Make sure that you watch that episode, and then Friday will be the Sith Council. So we're giving you episodes today, Thursday, and Friday. Today, I'm psyched, man. I get my buddy Matt Serra on. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I know he's very excited about Knives Out 2. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about, he wants to talk about Dune, and I can't wait to talk to him about Dune, Spider-Man, Star Wars. We're going to geek out. We're going to geek out with Matt Serra in just a little bit, guys. So let's get ready. Let's get started here. I'm excited. Go to the Apple Podcast and make sure you are downloading us, whether it's Spotify or wherever podcasts are found, and subscribe to this channel. Very, very important. But let's get into this shit, man. It's a big thing. It's me. It's Matt Serra. Let's do it. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Joining me today, I don't do digital. You guys know I don't do digital anymore. But I had to do it for this guy. I mean, got a chance to talk to him in a little bit, having to be able to geek out in a little bit, and I get to do it. He is the former UFC Welterweight champion of the world and my pal, Matt the Terror Serra. What's up, brother, man?
What's up, bro? Long time, man.
No,
I've been watching your show, and now it's officially the big thing. It's no longer the SCN Live.
So SCN in general, it presents, right? So the SCHMOEDOWN Entertainment Network presents both the SCHMOEDOWN, and then this channel is basically just the Christian Harloff channel where I do reviews and reactions, and I have the big thing, and then Sith Council. But SCN presents it. That's the brand name, but the overall show, yeah, this one is the big thing. And so what do you think, man? You like, for me, I've been saying it, people are commenting back and forth. To me, this is my favorite show that I've ever done, to be honest. I get to just shoot the shit with my friends. I get kind of a little bit more loose, and I don't really, I don't feel handcuffed by shit I got to talk about.
I dig it, man. I've been watching. I'm enjoying it, I like also what you're doing with the movies. You're talking about the old Star Wars movies. You do, what is it, the rewatch, you said?
Yeah, we're doing the rewatch on both. We finished our rewatch on Star Wars last week, and then we have one more with Spider-Man, but we're going to get into the Matrix. We're going to do all the Batman movies. So the fans really seem to be enjoying the rewatch series. And to be honest, dude, it's fun to go back and watch a lot of these things, like especially things I haven't picked up in a while, like even like certain things that, like, because Spider-Man 3, the Raimi one, I remember being so terrible, and it's not good, but there is a lot of good shit in there that I kind of just disregarded because I remember it being such a fart box.
I mean, special effects wise, action wise, there was some cool stuff in that. Yeah. I didn't dig the kid that was Venom, and there might have been too many things into play with the Sandman and stuff. But I'll tell you, the new one, Far From Home, right?
Yeah, the new one is No Way Home. No Way Home.
Yeah, that new trailer, we talked about that briefly the other day. That's interesting. There's people saying that they think that that there's the other Spider-Man's cropped out of that one shot. Because it looks like not Sandman. So yeah, maybe Sandman's face, somebody's getting punched. Right?
Lizard, yeah.
Yeah, the lizard.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You think they would do that?
100%. You remember Civil War when they announced the trailer, because nobody knew if Spider-Man was going to be in it or not. And the original trailer for Civil War, they cropped him out of it. They took him out of it. They cropped like Hulk out of something too. They've cropped people out before. And I think it was the Brazilian trailer that they show where Lizard comes in and it looks like he gets cracked in the jaw. And it's like, it makes sense. And I'm glad that they did it. I think it makes sense that they did it. I think that there's like two sides of the coin, right? There's people that, like, you're like really tapped into this shit the way that I am. So you pay attention to all this stuff. So you don't care. You're going to see the movie regardless. So the argument for it of showing Toby and Andrew is, let's get people who like those movies in the past and let them know that these guys are going to be in it, because then they're going to want to see it. But there's so much hype in this thing anyway. You don't need to show them.
Yeah. No, true. I like that. I think it's interesting. Like, are the villains like Doc Ock and what is it, Electro, Jamie Foxx? Yeah. Are they villains in this in this world where it looked like they was talking to Doc Ock, like Doc Ock, he was almost like not misunderstood, but he wasn't like an evil guy. You know what I mean? Like
he was corrupted by the things. He was corrupted by the technology. It was starting to drive him nuts, and he snaps out of it. So I think that I do think Electro and Sandman and Lizard and Goblin are all going to be bad. I don't think Doc Ock will be. I think they're going to get the nanotech out of him pretty quick. I think he's going to help, but the rest of them, because that's the point of the trailer, right? They say like Doctor Strange tells Peter, he says like, listen, here's like all these villains, they died before they got pulled in here before fighting Spider-Man, so you can't really save them. And I think that's the whole thing, is that they're coming in all pissed off, and that's also why I think it makes sense that the other Spider-Men are going to show up.
It's their fate. He was pretty much saying to die to Spider-Man. It's pretty interesting and kind of morbid. I like it. I'm interested in it.
Me too. You know, they said it's like it's like the end game of Spider-Man movies, and you certainly get that in the trailer so far. And it's weird because like I was definitely excited for this movie, but there's something about this movie. There's certain movies out there that are able to do that, to able to like really jump on that hype train and get people so fired up. Like they had a fucking event for the trailer, and people showed up and lost their minds. I mean, Tom Holland showed up to the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like there's those certain movies that just have that hype train, and they just need to deliver, you know.
I listen. I think Tom Holland is amazing as Spider-Man. Yeah. That's my one kid. That's her favorite. My two kids. Look, I got my one Spider-Man and my one Captain America. So my daughter, she loves Spider-Man. And
how old?
Was that?
How old is your daughter?
I got 3 daughters: 12, 10, and 8. So So they all got their favorites, you know.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's the same way. I just watched Into the Spider-Verse with her. She's seen 2 Spider-Man movies now. She saw the first Tobey movie and she loved it.
Yeah.
And she saw Spider-Verse and she just fell in love.
Oh, well, Spider-Verse was just so well done.
It's funny as hell too.
You know, I think that's great. Speaking of trailers, I thought the Matrix one. It basically seems kind of like the same movie. It seems like but I guess that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful. The trailer with the song, you know the song I'm talking about, to the trailer.
Yeah.
What is it?
White Rabbit, right?
An airplane or some shit, right?
Yeah.
It fits perfectly.
Yeah. And
it definitely gets you going. It seems like it's really quality. Yeah. I just don't know. I'm just confused by the whole thing because, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like they have a lot of explaining to do, which is a good thing. Because the first movie's so good, and the Animatrix is fantastic too. But that's really where it stops. The second one could have been good if the third one was, but it just didn't. The third one was such a mess; it just didn't deliver. So the question is, it looks like they're sticking around into the Matrix more, which is what I want to see from them and see how they explain it. So that to me just is a matter of execution, because I'm very excited for it, but it could very well be shitty depending on how they play it.
I mean, I remember I think I seen it uptown with a bunch of my friends, a bunch of my jiu-jitsu buddies back in the day, the very first Matrix. And I remember seeing that, and it just was like, it's just a game changer. It was just like, whoa.
Were you that was like 99.
Yeah,
right?
man. Yeah.
Were you in the UFC yet at that point?
Oh no, my first fight in the UFC was 2001.
Oh, okay, 2001.
So I was basically like in Manhattan 6 days a week, just living at Renzo Gracie Academy.
Wow.
And in '99, I was like, I won the Pan Ams. I won the world championship in jiu-jitsu. It's a brown belt. So I was busy competing and training. Yeah. So, you know, that night, a bunch of us after training, we went and seen that uptown.
Yeah.
And then we spent the night at my friend's like at a loft over there, and it was just one of those good nights. But the movie, I remember going into it not knowing not too much about it. I remember one of those things.
Yeah.
Picture, like back then, like 99 too. So it's not like you got all the social media buzzes and this and that, you know. No. So to go into that just like dry and be like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
And then I was really, to be honest with you, I was let down with the I know they had their moments, I guess, but
The second and
I wasn't crazy about the sequels, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people too, for sure. Because you're right. What that happened, people forget that in '99, the talk of that summer was episode 1. It was Phantom Menace. That's what everybody was talking about, was Star Wars. And then this movie comes out, Matrix, and you're like, what the hell is this? Everyone, you pretty much just summed up what everyone felt like. What the hell did I just get hit with? And I can only imagine for somebody like yourself, because they do, there's a lot of martial arts in there. There's a lot of those philosophies inside of that movie. The philosophy of the Matrix in general was very much, and similar to what we'll get into in a little bit, was when you texted me about after you saw Dune, and like, because I'm so very curious and we'll get into it, but like curious because you had written something particular that he had said in training, and being a fighter, being an ex-champion, being to look at that and to look at that philosophy of what is taught there in Dune, and I'm sure you saw the same thing in Matrix. I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean. Especially I can't do his accent, but jujitsu. I'm going to learn jujitsu. I mean, that was awesome. When he's downloading it in his head. If only you do that, just download that shit.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Hours of getting strangled to get good at this stuff. But yeah, it was wild. I mean, Dune, whenever you want to get into that, I mean, that is just amazing. I'm looking forward to the new Matrix. When does that come out, by the way?
End of December, I think a couple of weeks after Spider-Man. I think it's like right around the Christmas. Wow. So what are your thoughts? You're a guy, you go to the movies a lot. And so you're going to see Afterlife today.
Yeah. Me and the family are going to go see the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
So I think that you're going to love it because you're going with your family. Because I saw a screening and I really enjoyed the movie. I saw it by myself, but the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking about my daughter, right? I was thinking about, oh man, like she's really going to love this. Were you original Ghostbusters fan?
Oh, 100%. I'm 47. So when did that thing come out? In
84.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I mean, I'm 10 years old. I mean, I'm the age of that type of thing. And I'll tell you, man, it was great. I loved Ghostbusters as a kid.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna dig it because it's got. I mean, look, this is definitely more, as where that movie, because I'm like a year younger than you are, and same thing. I remember seeing that movie in the theater with my dad, loving it, and that movie was definitely built towards like the Saturday Night Live audience, the guys who followed, and then less about. I mean, your families loved it and kids loved it, but this definitely is a love letter to that movie because Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman, directs it. You can see that, you can feel it, but it's like, this is more of a story about like the grandkids, and but it's cute. I really do.
It looks good. It really does. What did you think about the one, the last one, the one with the girls?
So my thought on that one was, I just think it was handled poorly, and what I mean by that is, what this movie does, it connects to those other two movies. I think that it'll get success from the fans that were looking forward to that, to see how it connects. I really like all of those actors, Melissa McCarthy and Leslie Jones, all of them. They're great, but I just think that the problem was that they tried to do another Ghostbusters movie, and then they throw Bill Murray and Aykroyd into these other cameos that didn't make sense, and it was like a alternate multiverse kind of weird thing that just didn't play. It just could have been something else.
Yeah, I didn't think it was awful. I mean, but it wasn't what the originals were to me, obviously. I mean, and it didn't have that same feel, even though it was fun. It was something different. But then you got Thor taking his shirt off and everything. I don't know what he's doing. I like that, but it's like, whatever, man. And I like him.
Right. Well, Paul Feig directed it, who did Bridesmaids. I mean, and Spy. I love Paul Feig. He's great director. I just it just didn't hit for me, and it had nothing to do with the stupidity of people going, well, we don't need female Ghostbusters. That's stupid. That's stupid.
It either works or it doesn't. I mean, you don't.
Exactly what it was. It didn't work for me. But I think that had they connected it, had they done something similar to what they do here, like if the women were the daughters, and the daughters then picked up the mantle and did basically what this is doing, I think it would have worked better. I just, a separate kind of remake is ultimately what it was. That's why it didn't play for me.
Yeah, and this one, it has that type of feel to it just by looking at it. and it has what is that? Does it have a kid from Stranger Things? I don't know. It's got a little bit of the spooky feel from just looking at it. I don't know. The trailer looks amazing. I'm going to see it in an hour or so.
Text me when you're done and let me know what you thought of it.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
Cool. Yeah, because I liked it. I can't talk about it yet because the embargo's up. I just saw House of Gucci yesterday.
Yeah, well,
you don't care about that one.
I'll review that when I review Knives Out too, or whatever.
I know you're excited about that one. Are you paying attention to all the stuff that's going on with Star Wars? I know because you love Mandalorian like me, right?
Oh, I love Mandalorian, man.
Yeah.
Hey, did I ever show you this? This is my favorite. I was in the Sponge Docks with my family down in Florida, and we were in these little like drift shops, and it was almost like a Christmas story. It was like, where's that behind the tree? I saw up there this beautiful.
Look at that.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's great.
Look at this.
Tatooine? Is he on Tatooine right there?
Tatooine, man. This is not. That's Boba Fett, Mother Jumper. Look at that.
No, but he's on Tatooine, right?
Yeah, man. He's got the Greedo in there before man shoots him first, and then the other dude that we know with the thing on his head. Anyway.
Yeah. So
I love Mandalorian. Yeah. I can't wait for the book of Boba Fett. It looks like some
gangster movie,
like intergalactic gangster shit. I like that. You know, I think it's just hardcore, man. I really I'm digging the girl as his sidekick that owes him like the life debt.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, Fennec Shan. She's great in the way that they play into it. I'm curious how they play that out. And what I liked about that, and what I've been said recently, is that like I didn't give a shit about Boba Fett as far as having his own movie or having his own TV show. Like when they first announced, like Disney was just saying, "Oh, there's going to be a Yoda movie. There's going to be a Solo movie." Yeah. I'm like, who cares? I don't care about this shit, until they set it up so well in Mandalorian that I'm like, okay, now I actually care. And they said it, and then that trailer hits. Between that and now the Obi-Wan series is coming out, and I think that's my most anticipated is Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then they brought the kid back. Vader.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen. Yeah.
All right, good, man. Get that kid some work. Listen, he's a talented guy. I thought Jumper was an awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that McGregor as Obi-Wan is just fantastic. He was the best thing about those prequels. He was so good that him and Liam Neeson and Darth Maul saved that fight. Darth Maul, Ray Parks. They saved that first one for me. That fight at the end,
it's great.
Was my favorite probably fight scene with anything with the lightsaber.
Yeah. So we can transition from Star Wars into Dune, because Dune for sure. People have been quoted as saying that I don't like the moniker of saying it's Star Wars for adults. I think Star Wars is as much for adults as anything too, but this is more of a mature science fiction film for sure. And it's based off the books, but like, I didn't like the David Lynch movie that came out. So I didn't really care too much about. Everyone was getting excited about this movie, and at least Mark Riley was really excited about it. He's like, listen, man, you're going to love it. They do it right because of the way that they really handle this thing on like the book. If they handle it the right way, it really plays. And I loved this movie. I absolutely loved this movie. I didn't go to, did you see it in the theater?
No, you know what? Unfortunately, I did not see it in the theater. I want to still, but I tell you right now, I've seen it many times. I've watched it. I have it down. I have it in the background when I'm shaving my head. I'm telling you, I'll say I love this movie. This is this is my newest. Like when I get into something, I'm into something. Like,
no, I could tell you were really into it because you were quoting it already, and yeah.
Oh, I took pictures. I took vids of my phone, just like motivational. Josh Brolin. First of all, he's good in everything, great in everything.
Yeah.
But when I'll tell you that scene. What a difference between him and Patrick Stewart. When Patrick Stewart, it's funny because I watched a little bit
of the old one,
of the 1984 one, and it's a rough one to get through.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen the Dune, the new one, this one, the one that just came out, you see, because it's the similar story based on Frank Herbert's book from the 60s.
Yeah.
You see similar characters and similar even scenes. When one scene when Patrick Stewart plays Gurney, Gurney, right?
Yeah.
And Josh Brolin's character, and they show him in the suits that were really blocky and those special effects back then. What a difference with the scene with Josh Brolin and the kid Paul.
It's so important, too, because it really establishes not only their relationship and kind of what character kind of Gurney is, but just like you said, the overall philosophy in general of what this kid is going to be, what he needs to be, what he needs to do in that particular moment, and the idea of like you were mentioning with like a fight, and what happens inside of it, like you're not always ready for it,
Well, listen, man, he wasn't in the mood. He goes, "Listen, maybe I'm not in the mood." I love that scene. I watched that particular scene.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times, because I've had similar things in training. We're training people in myself. Maybe I'm not in the mood. He's like, "What is mood of anything?" I love this scene. He gets my nipples hard. He's like, what does mood have to do with it? He's like, you fight when the necessity arises.
Right.
And then he's just like, enough with you when he attacks him. Dude.
Yeah.
I love it. I see him down the mood.
Immediately when you said that, I thought of you immediately when you texted me. And I was like, I can see you quoting this to your students when you're teaching them at the studio.
Yeah. Powerful. And then like, you don't understand. Basically, I'm going to paraphrase a little, because he's like, you don't really get what we're facing here. He's telling Paul. He's like, I need to see it. I need to see it in your eyes. I love it, dude. And you can tell he cares about him. He cares about him, and he's trying to let him know, like, look, dude, you don't. It was very Games of Thronesy in that. That's what it felt like. Like, look, we're going to King's Landing, and that's we're be surrounded by enemies. You got to understand. Yeah. It's almost like it felt like what Ned Stark's telling like his kids or whatever. Like he's telling his kid, you got to realize what we're facing here.
Right.
I need to see it in your eyes. He gets so many. I love that shit. That was powerful. And so, props to Jason Momoa. I thought he was phenomenal as well.
It's one of his better roles. I agree, and I think he brings out of a film that has a lot of very serious people, and not like there was something about him where he was absolutely one of the more powerful characters, but he still had an air of humor about him. He was still, he almost served like a second father figure to Paul, and the certain things, and even when he finds him and his mother in the desert, and he embraces them, and there's absolutely that start. You can see why George Lucas was inspired by Dune to write Star Wars. One of the things, obviously, because of there's a lot. I mean, the voice is pretty much the Force.
What about the Matrix with so you see a lot of the movies that people are going to watch this Dune, and they're like, they probably got that from Star Wars. They got that from the Matrix. Hey, man, it preludes this. This is back in the 60s they came out with this.
Yeah.
So I love to see it done right. And I saw my old nemesis in the land. I think I texted you about that. I had a jiu-jitsu match.
Okay.
With,
you did.
Versus Babs. I can't pronounce his last name. But basically, if people seen the movie, he's one of the Vermin. Vermin?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it's great though.
Yeah.
But I like to see him doing well.
Yeah, so that in general, where you have you've got this scene, how this whole thing's set up. A lot of people's criticism, and there wasn't a lot, but there's the criticism that this movie did have was that it's a slow burn and that it takes a while to set up. But the way that I counter that is this is meant for a massive scale, the same way like a Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 is one big movie. This is one big movie, and this is the first setup of it to get us into the Fremen and into all this stuff, and get us like ready to go into all of the action in general. And because Denis Villeneuve says that the second one is going to be just full action, the same way like I guess Return of the King was full action at the end there. So I love the slow burn. I love the setup. To me, like there's certain I've been screaming to the hills for most things that I think most things should be like. I prefer Star Wars in television than I do in big screen. I think you have more time to set up.
I agree.
Opposite for me here. I think for me this is a big movie overall that I think works on the big screen, even though I haven't seen it on the big screen, but I understand. And although they are doing a Dune series, I think that is it's relevant to have this story told out into film.
Listen, visually, I can understand why people are saying to see it in IMAX, and I hope I do.
Yeah,
before it gets out of theaters. But visually, the score. I mean, oh man, I can't do it. I can't do that shit. But it's it's going through the thing, and I'll tell you, man, it got it right in all areas. Yeah. The acting, I like the pacing. There's enough of those. The action that was in it was quality. It was very well done, you know. So, and the story, I mean, listen, the lore, the world building. It's not like the '84 one when you have the girl in the beginning doing like a 15-minute monologue explaining what's going on. You understand what's going on, man. You don't have to read the books. You don't have to know what's going on. Oh, all right. This evil race. What do they call the Harkin? What now?
Harkin. Yeah. Did you watch it on subtitles?
I did. I did watch that in subtitles afterwards. I watched it so many times. But the Harkin is there on the planet. They have it for 80 years. Of course, they're going to be pissed off when the Emperor puts them in there. Why is the Emperor doing that? He's got some. When's a gift, not a gift? Dude, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
Love how locked into it you are. Like it is.
It's not fucking. Hey, listen. You know me, my ADD. If this shit's boring, I'm out. It's not. It got me in, and it kept me in, and it makes. I watch it again. I'm seeing different shit.
Yeah, you were skeptical going in, right? You didn't know what you were gonna get.
Yeah, I did not. The only thing I knew of the Dune was the '84 movie that I never got through. And I'm still getting through it. You know what I mean?
It's not
I can, but so I wasn't into it. But now, all invested in. I can't wait. I'm so happy they greenlighted the sequel.
Me too. I'm excited the second one's coming out because I especially.
Exciting.
Well, because Villeneuve is still very excited to do the movie, right? And the fact when you get directors who are not only just taking the gig to get a job, but also because they're pumped up, passionate about it. And I understand, the fact that there are certain filmmakers that just want to get everything in this theater and they want to put it in the big screen. They don't want it to have streaming. The streaming thing for me, the HBO Max thing that they're doing, again, I'm sure this has been good for you also having a family, like just having that instant access like day of, as opposed to theaters are great. Theaters are fun. But like having that instant access to just watch certain things when they come, like this, I forget. Were you a Sopranos guy?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, at the end they got real dreamy and dream sequences and whatnot. And I didn't watch the new one. I couldn't make it through that.
You didn't? Okay.
I couldn't get into it.
No.
But I like the Sopranos back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact like that is a perfect example to me of a movie that comes out in the theater, doesn't do very well in the theater, but it just destroys on HBO Max. And just like so much so that they're talking about doing a miniseries was what they should have done in the first place, to be honest with you. But
I'm sorry, but I just want to, before I
I
don't think we talked about this, and I thought it was phenomenal. Another movie. This is the movie that I enjoyed.
Can I guess before you say it?
You 100%.
The Suicide Squad.
100%. Yes.
Same way.
It was my favorite movie since now Dune is the new one I'm obsessed with. But I love the Suicide Squad. For James Gunn, again, the music, first of all, it hits emotional. It gets you the emotions going. That's the scene. I'm not going to get into each scene, but like at the certain scene with what's her name? Ratcatcher 2.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They say my city, it's their city. And then she has the little flashback of a dad above the city.
Yeah. That's Taika Waititi, that's Taika
Waititi. And he gives a little speech about the rats. How great was that? That's like being a father. That's almost get you teary.
Oh, it absolutely did. That movie, I'm with you on the same page. That's one of my favorite movies of the year for sure. If not that and Dune are up there for me. And the reason why for both of them.
Yeah,
they both surprised me because
the music when Harley Quinn does that, what she does at the end.
Oh, amazing!
It's movie is gorgeous. When I'm driving, it's beautiful.
That movie is gorgeous. It's like a painting. But yeah, that movie, The Suicide Squad, because I don't know where you stand on Guardians, but like I think Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is good. The second one I don't really like.
I enjoyed both. Yeah,
I don't like the second one.
I enjoyed the first one more, but. The second one was a fun sequel. I enjoy them, man. I mean, I enjoy what he did with them.
I just think that James Gunn thrives in movies like this. I think the handcuffs come off him a little bit more, and he's able to really kind of have some fun with something because he's got such a warped sense of humor and his style, and he just played, and it also actually helped this, even though it didn't do very well financially. I think that the reason why it helped so well critically is because the first movie was such a shitbox that the expectations were so low for it. And then when he puts it out there, like I would watch this movie in my office and I was laughing so loud.
It bothers me that it didn't do well because I'm like, come on, man, they're not gonna give this guy another run with this because it didn't. And that's where I think the HBO Max hurt it because I don't know. People had to be watching this thing. It was so good.
They should have waited.
What would you want with that? Did you ever think? Let me ask you, Christian, because I thought about this a lot.
Yeah,
I love the lead in it. What's his name?
Which one? Idris Elba?
Yeah. What was his name in it again? The mask.
Not that. Deadshot's the other one. So shoot, I can't remember.
How the fuck did we forget this? But anyway, I kept thinking, what if they didn't get him and they had Will Smith back as Deadshot in that,
right?
With the daughter and this and that, and he played the same exact. It's a very similar role. You know what I mean? They were both. Yeah. So, but I think is it what the hell's his name? It's gonna bother me.
Not Bloodsport, is it? What's his name?
It is Bloodsport. Yes, it is.
Yeah, Bloodsport.
I thought he was great. I liked him arguing with his daughter in the jail. I liked his thing with Peacemaker. I like how he came to the rescue with Ratcatcher. How just the way that was done. And this standoff. You know what I mean? Oh,
how hilarious was it Gary? Is that the scene that when they're like, who the hell's that? He's like, it's Gary. He was
literally with us the whole time. The polka dot man. It was done so well. My kids were laughing. I'll tell you, I enjoyed. And then what's his name in the beginning? Who's always good. He was in Walking Dead. You know, he had the long hair. He died in the beginning, but it starts with him. He's got the handball. He kills the bird. What the fuck's his name?
Michael Rooker.
Yes. Oh, he's always great in everything.
Michael Rooker's great.
And, you know, he's playing the part. And then when the shit hits the face, fucking man.
It was unpredictable. That's what I loved about it. It was unpredictable. And one of my favorite scenes, maybe not even just in the movie, but in movies in general, is in this film when him and Peacemaker are walking on the beach killing everybody. It's like
nobody likes to show off unless you get showing off is dope as fun. He's just like, and he's like, dang, he's right.
Oh, so good. It was so funny. But what do you think about the Peacemaker series? You excited about that one?
The what now? Oh, Peacemaker series?
Yeah, the series.
Oh yeah, I seen the coming attractions. Oh, I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. It looks good. Oh, what I liked about that is there's an old comic book I used to read. It looks like they're playing him a little goofy, but Vigilante. Did you ever read Vigilante comic book? No. Oh, I'm bringing it back. The Vigilante. That was a great comic book from DC. He was basically DC's Punisher.
Okay.
Vigilante. So when I see the coming attractions and they're like, oh, that's just Vigilante. He's trying to help. And the guy's like waving. He's being goofy, but he looked like a badass. That was a great comic book back in the 80s. Yeah. And maybe, in the 80s. That's old school. But so I like seeing shit like that. That's not something I came up with.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, like, there's so much. And I think that's what the beauty of streaming is. You have all these different opportunities to do certain things that aren't just like the movies, whether you have, you've switched over what they're doing for the Marvel side on Disney Plus with Loki and what is it? The WandaVision. And now you got Hawkeye, and there's so much. Did you get into any of those shows?
Watched them all.
You watched them all.
Yeah. I enjoyed WandaVision. You know, it was a big, that talk about a slow burn in the beginning. I like it started getting a little Twilight Zone-y. So I'm like, this is different. Because in the beginning, I'm like, what is this?
You know what? Hearing you talk about this, because you're such a massive DC fan. You're a massive Marvel fan. It's see, you're not in my space. I would love to be able to actually see someone actually face to face call you a shill. And see how that works out for you.
Why a shill? What does that mean?
Oh, I love that you don't know anything about it. So basically, it's like, so when we were on, whether you're watching like Marvel or DC or whatever, if you like Marvel too much, then you're a Disney shill and they pay you off. Or if you like I loved the Zack Snyder cut, I loved it. But I
was watching it the other day. I love that too. So good.
Great. So then it's so you can't,
man.
A Red Yankee fan.
So I was gonna say Cyborg must be pissed about that shit. It's a different movie for that guy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Totally different movie, man. He must hate fucking Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon really fucked him.
He does. It's like public. There's public stuff. Like he's gone after him. Yeah, for sure.
Like, what am I looking at, man? It's a different. He took out his whole storyline. And then they came out with Panther around the same time. The poor guy didn't get any. You know what I mean? He came. That was his story.
It was great.
I mean, that was emotional when he's in the car, upset about his dad not being there and his mother. Dude, that was emotional.
I love this. I thought great. Yeah, it was really good.
I enjoyed that a lot. That one, man.
So what are the other things that you're thinking about though, as far as Matrix, obviously, Spider-Man, series? What other movies that are coming out that you're really pumped about, or shows?
Well, I mean, we got Obi-Wan. I don't know when Obi-Wan's coming out. I believe the Book of Boba Fett. That's what I'm looking for. It's late next month, right?
Yeah, it comes out the end of December.
Yeah, it is that. I enjoyed the What If series. I thought that was cool. The Party Thor, and I liked how it brought everything back together towards the end. Yeah, like all the different characters and stuff. That was cool, man. So
my wife is not into this stuff. Is your wife into this stuff too?
Everything we're talking about, she watches.
Oh, you lucky bastard!
And it's good and it's bad because sometimes you want to blow through something, but you got to watch it with the family, though.
You got to watch it. That's true. Yeah. What about could you go on a lot of these trips though? Like, whether you're going on because you got a lot of the fighters that are still very active and doing well in the UFC. Like, so when you're moving around and you're going on tour and doing, so you're watching a lot of stuff on planes and shit too, right?
Yeah, man. Listen, I bring my iPad with me and I watch. That's where I go through series, man.
Yeah.
I recommend for you if you've never seen it. Did you ever watch Vikings?
I started watching Vikings and I liked it. My wife and I started watching a couple episodes, and then it just, I don't know how we trailed off, watched other stuff, and then it's just there's so much stuff to watch. But I did like what I saw because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan.
I need a new show to get into. Me and my wife we keep going back to Banshee, but
Did you like did you watch Dexter when it was on?
We did, but I fell off ages ago. So
yeah,
I heard.
Well, he's got. I think it's just a mini series that he's, but it's like. The last series was 2013, so it's 8 years later, and it kind of takes place. So the showrunner that left in like season 4 when the show was like really hot, is back. That showrunner is back now and working in this one. Right. It's 2 episodes in so far, and I'm digging it. But it's on Showtime. You don't necessarily have to be that caught up in all the other stuff. You can get into it pretty quick.
Yeah, man. Shit. I'll give that. Maybe I'll give that a shot. Again, I'm always looking for new series, man, to get into. Yeah. And I'll be watching that Book of Boba Fett. I don't know when the Obi-Wan comes out. Do you know?
No one knows. There's rumors of when it could, because if you look at the releases, I think that Boba Fett's going to probably be ending up around February is when it ends, right? And then they're going to probably start another Marvel series in like February, March. So if you were gonna guess, Obi-Wan's probably going to come out in like May, if I was going to guess.
2 movies that they're going to make sequels to that the nerd in me just wish they would.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, let me hear it.
1, this is the most underrated superhero movie ever. I just said that. I said it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Think about the most underrated superhero movie ever. Most underrated one ever. All
right. So how long ago did it come out?
Maybe 2012.
2012.
Something like that.
Man of Steel?
No.
Oh. Which one?
I'm going to cut to the chase right here. It's just Dredd.
Dredd's great.
Kurt, what's his name?
No, what's his name? Urban. Carl Urban.
Kurt Urban.
Carl.
I'm sorry. Carl Urban.
Yeah.
I dare, and the girl from the girl from
she's in Why the Last Man.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Oh. Wait, what was she in Game of Thrones?
She was the villain, man. She was Mama.
You're talking about Cersei. I thought you meant the young girl that becomes Dredd.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you thought I was talking about Judge Dredd with Stallone.
And Rob Schneider.
Not that. I tried to watch that again with the kids. That didn't.
Yeah. Oh, did you watch Rocky vs. Drago?
What is that?
Oh, you don't know what that is?
No.
So Stallone did. That's something for you to watch. Stallone did a director's cut of Rocky 4. Oh, so dude, I'm so surprised you haven't seen it. So before you watch the cut, Stallone has a 45-minute documentary on YouTube about how he did all this stuff. It's super inspirational. And he talks, so basically during the quarantine, he went in and he started watching Rocky IV. He decided there was too much goofy shit in there that he didn't want. He didn't want to do the 80s thing. He cut the robot out. Like he really cuts it. He makes it more about a pure drama about how, like, you know, there's this whole thing, and when he goes to the boxing commission and talks to them about the fight, and there's more about, he gives Paulo more of a chance against Drago, makes Drago a little more human. There's a lot of stuff, and so there's like a full-on new director's cut of Never Before.
Yeah, where is it?
You can get it on Apple. You can get it on Amazon. It was in the it was in the theater one night, but you got to search Rocky versus Drago.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you should. It's an hour and a half. There's a lot that he cut that I don't think he should have cut at all, but there's a lot that he added that definitely adds to a new tone. And he recut the fight. The fight
when Adrian went to full bitch mode and says you can't win.
Still has it. Still has on, but he changes up that conversation a bit, because he has that the thing that I didn't wish he wouldn't have cut, when he says that in order to beat me, he's going to have to kill me. And in order to do that, he's going to have to willing to die himself. Like, I think that comes in later on, like in a voiceover, but like he changes up that scene. He changes up. It's a completely different movie.
Well, I'm going to watch it, man. Maybe I'll watch that later with the wife.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go. I'm going to see Afterlife in like 20 minutes.
Oh, get out of here.
This is what I do, Christian, when you have 3 kids. And I support the local theaters, you know that. But what we do is you go to Five Below. And Five Below, that's where you get all the candy, because it's fucking cheap.
Yeah.
All right, listen, anyway. That's what I'm just giving you some tips. Go to Five Below, you get those same snacks for fucking 50 cents. And then you go in there and
theaters now, they sell like $12,000 for a bucket of popcorn.
I still spend it. I need my popcorn. But hey, man, I'm gonna let you know how I enjoy it. Hey, dude, thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again for sure, and we'll keep talking about maybe one of these episodes of whether it's Boba Fett or one of the Hawkeye episodes. You and I can come in. We can review one of the episodes together.
Dude, anytime, bro. I still gotta have to get you on Unfiltered, man.
I want to be on. Next. I would love to, and everybody needs to go check out Matt on UFC Unfiltered, and it is with him and Jimmy Norton, and they please go check it out. It's a great show, and and you know what, I need at one point after I get you out of here, I need you to give me a crash course on some stuff, some of the fighters too, because I told you I was like a massive fan for a long time, and it's like getting back into it again too. I need you to give me some crash courses.
Anything you need to know, bro, I'm with you. And if you guys want, if any of your audience wants to check out on YouTube, Dana White Looking for a Fight. I just got back from Denver. I just shot an episode of that. It's myself, Dana White, my buddy Dean Thomas, looking for upcoming talent for the UFC, doing some wacky shit when we're in that state and whatnot. And then we find talent for the UFC. It's a fun gig. It's a fun gig.
It is. It is, brother. All right, so go enjoy the movie, and we'll see you soon.
You got it, man. Thanks. Take care, Christian.
Thanks, champ. The great Matt Serra, everybody. Great Matt Serra. I always love talking to Matt. He's just such a good dude. Just such a good dude. And he's like, he knows his shit. Really knows his shit. Before we get a couple things, I'm going to keep talking to you guys for a little bit, because you guys know this is the Wednesday episode. Before we move on, I do want to tell you guys about DraftKings. Definitely want to tell you about DraftKings. So DraftKings, ladies and gentlemen, DraftKings. There it is. So Thanksgiving's coming around the corner. It's right there. It's tomorrow. And for Thanksgiving, you got to be thankful for family and food and free bets. And that's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and it has a Turkey Day no-brainer that you can't miss. New customers can't bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game, and you can bet. You can win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. So new customers can bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. And if Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get in on the Thanksgiving NFL action. Make your first deposit and you can play free for millions with DraftKings daily fantasy football contests. DraftKings, it's safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Here's what you have to do. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code BIGTHING. Bet just $1 on any Thanksgiving NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. That's promo code BIGTHING this Thanksgiving at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 or older. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay. So, obviously, it's great when you talk to movie fans in general, right, that are so excited about, I mean, when you look at what's happened over the last 2 years and how the film industry and entertainment industry, like everything else, just had to kind of stop. And it was like, when they're coming back, and then the things when it starts to finally come back and things hit theaters and more things go into production, and now we're getting that wave, right? And the wave was whether it was the Suicide Squad and Dune and all these other movies that are coming out, and I get the awards movies coming out, and I don't know yet. I'm trying to think when this comes out, I might even have my review of House of Gucci up at this point. I don't even know. I got to see when the embargo drops, but that's a movie that was that people are talking about, and so I strayed off of it with Matt because it didn't seem like he gave two shits about it once I brought it up too. So but there are just so many different movies coming out. It's great the entertainment business is starting to kind of move again, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that I've been having so much more fun doing this over the last 4 months, whatever it might be. And thank you to everybody who's been involved in really commenting on this channel, liking, subscribing, doing all of that. Yeah, I can't tell you how important it is, and how it's just great. Like we've got around 23,000 subscribers at the moment. And it was, when we took the channel over, it was barely 7 or something, and it was just a matter of listening to you guys, to be honest. And that's the main thing. It's since someone asked me not too long ago when they were doing starting up wanting to podcast and what the main thing is, and I stick by that. Whether you have 100,000 people listening or 10 people listening, who are those people? You know, like what do they like? What do they don't like? And as it grows on, some people are just going to be turds, and it's, people, negativity, it's always going to be a part of it. But you got to look towards the positivity also, and what's there, and listen to those people and hear what they like, what they hope to see, why they were with you in the first place. And I heard people, it's like, I'm just like anybody else. I'm a human being. I can say sometimes I can be stubborn. Sometimes I could maybe not understand like certain, like I said, I love the movie Trivia SCHMOEDOWN. It's my baby. I love it. Cannot wait for right around the corner, the SCHMOEDOWN Spectacular. We're going to be just so much great stuff. Before the pandemic, we were on such a move, and we're doing so many great things, I think, with ESPN and all these things that were happening. And I figured, all right, then the SCHMOEDOWN as itself can just be the SCHMOEDOWN, and we can just run off the SCHMOEDOWN and just do that. Just be the SCHMOEDOWN. And, I didn't want to, and I almost sometime, I think stubbornly was like, nah, I don't need to talk about movies. I don't want to talk about movies. And it's like, why? You love movies. You love to do that. That's why you got into this in the first place. It's like it's because, I think it was also the fact that being in stand-up comedy and not doing stand-up for a while, and SEN Live became a place that I could just kind of goof around, and I didn't want to just make it dependent and be like repetitive off of things that I had done in the past. And then realizing that you can do both of those things and you can still make it fresh. And I think that you always got to learn from anything that you do. And I said, well, what if I now do this thing where I do a hybrid of schmoes and Collider Live and one-on-one and everything that I've ever done, and I just do what I like to do. And if I get into the middle of a conversation, I want to start talking about the windblower in the background and how that's, Leatherface chasing somebody with his balls out, then I can do that. But if I want to switch that and have like a serious conversation about social media with Corey Coleman, I can do that. And in the same conversation and flip it and do something else, and not worry about well, you have to hit this because this is trending, or you have to do this, or you can't say that, or you can't do this, or you have to involve this person, you have to do this person, you want to do this person, you want to have to that person, you have to have 17 people in the room and do this and do that. And that's also me talking to myself, where I thought that I had to have 17 people in a room in order to, have that show that everybody wanted. And that's why I think SCN Live is the best show over on Twitch, because it's so interactive, and that's what it needs to be. But like for me, it was like, I don't know. I think that a conversation, like I can't wait for you guys to see the conversation that we have tomorrow with Into the Spider-Verse with Winston and Coy. It's just like a fun conversation with the two of us. And then when I talk to Steph and Mike about Star Wars, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I found my stride on this new channel. And maybe I'm wrong. It just feels right. And I saw some guy on Facebook group was like, you rinse, wash, repeat. You say this is your favorite show. You said that before. I was like, yeah, in certain aspects I've had when I've doing shows, I realize, okay, you got to evolve and you get to the next step. But like, what do you like about them and what do you like most about them? And there's certain, like, Schmoes No Show was some of the greatest moments like that I've ever had in my career. So much fun and things we were doing. And I know that people loved it. I have bad memories now in general, of Collider Live. It seemed like a job to me, and loved working with the crew over there too. It just was, I don't know. It was just a bad time in my life in general. My brother passed away in 2018. We started the show the weekend I got back from his funeral, and I just worked in a dark place for a long time. And, it just wasn't somewhere I didn't enjoy driving there. I didn't enjoy, it was like when I was on the air, it's like, I feel like when I laughed for a little bit, then I looked around, I just felt like, oh, it doesn't really feel like we're really doing anything here. And it doesn't feel like, and not to the audience. Let me be very clear about that. The audience was fantastic, and the audience was really sweet and was always like very very involved, and we met some great people through it, whether it's Thrawn or David B or Saul. So many great people. That was not the audience. It was a me thing, kind of what I was going through at the moment in the time, and just not, like, and I said it a few different times. A lot of times I didn't, like, I think not just me, but the whole crew. I didn't feel like the crew, that show was really appreciated at the time. And I could be misreading it or not. But just kind of how it went down. Either way. But I love this show, man. I love doing this. I love doing Sith. And I've been really, and doing the reviews and the reactions. And it's a convenience thing, I'm home. I'm in my home studio, and I think that's part of it. I can do certain things, and I know that I have a certain thing that there's a news story that breaks, and then listening to you guys too. Like when I've done like a kind of a story that would break, and then I would start talking about it, and then I look at the comments and people say, we like these little news clips, keep doing them. So please, your feedback there. I've seen a few people who've written comments said, oh, I've never really responded before, and I don't know if you're going to listen. I read them and I respond to them, because I think that community is very important. I've mentioned it many times. I think YouTube lost track. I think when YouTube started, it was all about creators connecting to their audience and having conversations with them. It's great. There's a lot more comments coming these days, so it's a little harder for me. Like SCHMOEDOWN, we have a full fantastic crew that works endlessly to make things happen. The Skybound crew is just so amazing over there. This channel, I'm pretty much a one-man band, with the exception of like Derek, who helps over in marketing, and then Scott, who helps over on the podcast side, minus obviously Brian Ward, who did the graphics and stuff too. But it's pretty much like a very small team over here that's just working. It was like a side project, and it's moving. And I thank you guys for that. I really do. I thank you guys very much. And because of it, I'm going to tell you, you should all brush your teeth. Brush your teeth, because health practices, you gotta pay attention to. You gotta get into it, and learning new habits. It's gonna make your life easier. It's so much better, and like when you're brushing your teeth in a way where you're really taking care of them and not And you know that people are looking, look at that guy's smile. Look at that lady's smile. It's great. It really helps. The QUIP electric toothbrush is loved by over 7 million mouths, and it has these options for you: a lightweight and a sleek design for adults and kids with no wires, a bulky charger to weigh you down. It's a multi-use travel cover that doubles as a mirror mount for less clutter. It's got reusable handles in a range of sleek metal hues, including best-selling all black and all pink, as well as bright plastic colors sure to make a pop to your bathroom counter. And on top of your brushing, you can upgrade with your QUIP with a new smart motor to track and improve your brushing with a free QUIP app. Earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. Beyond the brush, QUIP has everything you need to build a complete routine. There's the anti-cavity toothpaste. You have mint, watermelon, and there's refillable gum that's sugar-free, has long-lasting mint flavor, and it comes with a dispenser. So you go on over to getquip.com/bigthing right now, and you're going to get your first refill free. That is your first refill free at getquip.com/bigthing, GETQUIP.com/bigthing. QUIP, the Good Habits Company. Having a really fun time here on this show today. It was a blast. Love talking to Sarah. I don't even know what I'm going to title this episode yet, because we talked about everything. We really did. We talked about a lot of great stuff. What are you guys looking forward to the most? Make sure you do that. Not only please subscribe to this channel if you're brand new to it, but please subscribe to the channel, but leave some comments and tell me, what are you looking forward to on this channel that you want to see? In particular, like, we're going to be doing Hawkeye reviews for sure. We're going to be doing Peacemaker for sure reviews. We're going to be doing Book of Boba Fett. Going to be doing House of Gucci, West Side Story reviews, Spider-Man, Matrix rewatch. The Spider-Man rewatch series ends tomorrow, so don't forget to watch that. Please go check it out. If you haven't checked it out before, we have full playlists on both the Star Wars rewatches and the Spider-Man rewatches, so please go give those a check out. But that's really it, guys. Enjoy your day. I hope you're subscribed to us on Apple Podcasts and everything where podcasts are found. But that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to Matt Serra. Go check him out on UFC Unfiltered, and check out him on YouTube with Dana White, Dean Winters. And I think that's it, everybody. Peace.